We also started to see the appearance of what can only be described as some kind of openings. These holes functioned as mysterious wormholes, sexualized portals or glory holes into other kinds of worm dimensions, gateways between the real and the virtual world were increasingly beginning to appear. Zoonotic complex CZ58 was, in fact, part of our DNA. The human genome was partly parasitic. While we had evolved from worm to human, there is still much of the worm in us. The worm represents a fertilizing event, breaking down organic matter, breaking down human bodies and transforming their meaning. The mediated landscape was again simply another intermediate stage in the complex life cycle of zoonotic complex CZ58. The parasite's definitive host, however, was elsewhere. In the mystery of the binary data of recorded media and ultimately in cinema itself. Technologies of all kinds were becoming more susceptible and more prone to particular viruses and parasites. Zoonotic complex CZ58 had a particular affinity for the obscure online pornographic category known as worm pornography, an obscure form of earthworm erotica, the visual representation of the body's shared union and erotic embrace of the earthworm, the slippery eroticism of the worm hiding deep within the flesh crevices and dark orifices of the sexualized human body. Worm pornography was symbolic of the nematode, the intestinal worm commonly found in the human intestinal tract. This symbiotic and erotic relationship of the body and worm saw that zoonotic complex CZ58 had finally completed its life cycle. To some, it was a form of parasite pornography. The human body is pornography, not for other humans, but for worms. No longer a sexual act between two adults, but between worm and human. Worms lusting after the body, the desire to lay their eggs and to decompose the body in death. But on another level, represented the symbolic primal animal energy of the human condition. Zoonotic complex CZ58 had also spread to microwave frequencies. Worm signals and worm telecommunication frequencies were now part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The parasite is really an ancient form of media. Its purpose to transmit new information, signals and behaviors as a primitive communication system takes place between host and organism. To be infected is to become parasitized. During the worm sex act, mucus-like material referred to as the slime tube forms around the worm in order for it to lay its eggs. The appearance of the slime game shows seem to ultimately have some kind of relationship to the reproductive cycle of the worm and the human body as a kind of slime tube. Slime represented the liquid material of life, of slippery definitions, leaking identities and leaking bodies. It was all part of the emerging worm censorship industrial complex. Worms as insidious and malicious censorship agents that were infiltrating our contemporary media. There were still many unknowns about the role and behavior of zoonotic complex CZ58. Increasingly, we no longer fully owned our own bodies. They were mere avatars and constructions of the technological and censorship industrial complex.